All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. After several years of off again, on again negotiations, Terence Bud Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. are finally set to lock horns in the boxing ring. The long anticipated showdown is slated to take place on July the 29th in Las Vegas as two of arguably the best pound for pound fighters that the sport of boxing currently has will finally meet. Both fighters are undefeated, with Crawford in possession of the WBO welterweight championship, while Spence is in possession of the IBF, WBC, and WBA titles. This is the fight that boxing has needed for quite some time, but the politics of the sport have unfortunately put it on the back burner. You cannot, and this is in my opinion, and I'm not the only one who feels like this, but you cannot call yourself the best until you go out there and fight and defeat the best. And this is a problem that has crippled boxing, in my opinion, due to the fact that promoters and people behind the scenes for far too long have gone out there to simply protect their fighters. And it is taking away from the sweet science. And you think about it overall in boxing in recent years, some missed opportunities. We waited too long to see Floyd Mayweather take on Manny Pacquiao. And in doing so, we really should have had two, maybe three fights between Mayweather and Pacquiao in their prime. That didn't happen. You think about Triple G and Canelo Alvarez. Yes, these two middleweights did fight three times, but the first fight kept being put off and put off and put off and put off, where we should have seen a prime Triple G take on Canelo Alvarez. And of course, the first fight was a draw, but I, like a lot of people, felt that Triple G won that fight. And you know what? There's going to be some people who said that Canelo won the second fight. There's going to be some people who said that Triple G won the second fight. But nonetheless, I feel that as a sport, boxing fans were robbed in that. We never got to see Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder fight each other as undefeated heavyweight champions. Once again, it was all about the politics behind the scenes. And what about Joshua taking on Tyson Fury? Again, these are things that people wanted to see, but the politics simply destroyed it. And it's hurt the sport in so many in the past several years. But we could have a scenario right here where a good fight between Spence and Crawford could possibly change a lot of that ill will. And I think that we're going to have a tremendous fight about 2 months from now in Vegas. Again, both of these guys are undefeated. Both are very skilled. Both are at the top of their games. You probably want to give the slight edge in speed to Spence, but you look as far as being a technician. Terence Crawford is all of that. You think about the power. I would initially give the slight edge in power to Errol Spence, but I see a scenario where you look at a guy like Terrence Bud. He typically takes the first couple of rounds to go out there and figure out his opponent. And then once he gets into a rhythm, a la Bernard Hopkins, you know what? He just gets rolling. But Errol Spence is a guy, he loves to start off fast. He loves to dictate the pace. So it's going to be very interesting to see which style dictates and plays out in this fight. But nonetheless, it's going to be one of those, and I'll say this again once we get closer to the actual bout. It's a toss up because, again, these are two of the best. And like I said before, if you want to be the best, you got to go out there and fight the best. And of course, there was an era in boxing where you didn't have to worry about all of this politicking and haggling. Guys simply went out there and fought. And it's just unfortunately that the promoters have really dictated things in recent years. And in the process, they've ruined or helped to ruin in my opinion, the sweet science, but nonetheless, we're finally getting what we want as fans. Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. We're about 60 days away from this going down on the Vegas Strip, and I guarantee you this fight will be worth the price of admission and then some. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. Now you can check it out, drop a line, and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So, once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, and I'm signing off. And I'm saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.